Hi guys, how are you all today morning? Good morning. Today is 13th February 2022. My name is T.S.V. Raghavan and I live in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. I am a published author with Amazon Kindle and paperback. I write on spiritualism, fiction, and assorted subjects. Spiritualism happens to be my favorite subject. This is my spiritual vlog on YouTube. hariboltrsvtrsvnectar, Nectar, nectar. In this particular vlog, in my previous videos, we have been discussing about the study of spiritual books, scriptures, contemplation on the material universe, and meditation on the spiritual universe. We have been discussing about the knowledge and information that we have gleaned from these four topics or sources. Kindly subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that I may keep reminding you of my other videos. Today also, in this video, it is not going to be any exception to that rule of discussing about the knowledge and information that we have gleaned. It is actually going to be only a contemplation of what we have been doing in my previous videos. For the past few videos, we have been trying to discuss about spiritualism through contemplation on the material universe. We have been discussing about the soul. We all know that qualitatively the spirit spark, also known as soul, is similar to the spiritual world, but quantitatively it is no match to the spiritual world of collective souls. This spiritual individual spark may or may not know. It is in its overconfidence as a spiritual spark that it can lord it over the inferior material world. We all know that whereas spirit is God's superior energy, matter is God's inferior energy. But that does not in any way give a superior power to the spirit soul or spirit spark. But this spirit spark does not know it then. It tries to lord it over the material nature. In that process, this spirit spark ejects out of the spiritual world knowingly or unknowingly and gets in touch with the material world, which is collectively certainly more powerful than the individual spiritual spark. Now, as soon as this spirit spark gets in touch with the material world, it becomes a soul whose endless cycle of births and deaths begins. This soul will have to go through an endless cycle of births and deaths in this material world till one day, out of sheer meditation, contemplation, and a choice to go back to the spirit world, this particular spirit soul, after a lot of meditation, gets self-realized and then liberated and finally delivered into the spiritual unknown. We shall try to find out how this is possible in this lifetime of a soul. A soul which comes in contact with the material world begins a living entity. How we shall talk. This material world, as soon as it is disturbed by the entry or penetration of the individual spirit soul into this material world, envelops this spirit soul with several layers of what is known as material body. This is just like an oyster in the ocean which has its mouth open and some foreign particle or drop of water falls into this mouth and irritates the soft flesh of the oyster, and to prevent this irritation, the oyster envelops this foreign object with layers of its saliva to prevent it from torturing the oyster from inside. But in that process, this unworthy foreign object becomes a pearl. Similarly, a spirit spark, which was though qualitatively superior, had no meaning till it came into touch with the material world and penetrated it, gets enveloped by 4 layers of the material body in such a way that later on the same raw spirit spark becomes a self-realized soul which aims at liberation and then finally at deliverance. We shall talk about this in this video now. There is a spirit spark which is qualitatively a part and parcel of the spiritual world. One day, knowingly or unknowingly, it gets ejected out of the spiritual world to lord it over the material nature. When it does so, it flies and gets in touch with the material world. What happens then? We shall talk in my next video. Kindly let me know what you think of my talk on this particular subject. Please give me your expert opinions, thoughts, and ideas so that I may keep reminding you of my other videos. Till we meet in my next video, it is good morning from TSV Raghavan.